Here now with more. Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan. He's set to meet with the Apple CEO Tim Cook tomorrow. Jim, well, apparently they're not going to take Twitter off the App Store, so that's some good news there. Is it maybe because Elon Musk threatened to compete with Apple?
Yeah, well, probably so, but it sounds like that meeting went well today. We'll find out tomorrow. So let's hope they're not going to kick Apple out of the App Store. But I think there's some other critical questions, Sean, we got to ask. Like, why did Apple change the features on phones in China? Why do that for the CCP? And I think the other key point here is why is Apple no longer advertising on Twitter or pulling back some of their ads? I mean, have they gone woke? So what I want to know is, where's the Apple that a few years ago said we're going to stand up for Americans' privacy? Where's the Tim Cook who told Jim Comey there is no way we're giving the FBI backdoor access to people's phones? That's the Apple we want to see because, again, right now we know one thing, Sean. The left is at war with the First Amendment. The left doesn't want the First Amendment anymore, and that is the key concern here. The left now says this: if you don't agree with them, you're not allowed to speak. And if you try, they're going to come after you. They're going to threaten you from the White House press room. They're going to threaten the Disinformation Governance Board. That is what scares me to death and I think scares so many people. So God bless Elon Musk for what he's doing to this platform, how it's improving and focusing on the First Amendment.
Yesterday, he promised that he would show how Twitter in the past has suppressed important, vital information. I would believe that might have to do with the Hunter Biden story, but that's speculation on my part. But he then went on to say Twitter has failed in trust and safety for a very long time and has interfered in elections. Interfered in elections. Let's talk about that. Does that mean in-kind donations? Does that mean that all the big tech companies, they all got behind Joe Biden? They never even examined the New York Post story as to the truth or veracity about the Hunter Biden laptop. So my question is, if they interfered with elections, is there any illegality in that?
Well, we'll find out what they did, but what we know what they did relative to the Hunter Biden story. And I thought Peter Doocy's question was right on target when he asked the White House press secretary, are you going to go weigh in with these tech companies when you find information on these platforms that you don't like? Well, the answer to that question is they already have. They already did. They did it just days before the most important election we have, the presidential election in October of 2020, when the FBI went out and talked to Facebook and said, hey, be on the lookout for Russian disinformation. And that just happened to be at the same time 51 former Intel officials, who all probably still have their security clearance, had put out this letter saying the Hunter Biden story has all the earmarks of a Russian disinformation operation. So they've already done the very thing Peter Doocy asked the press secretary about today.
All right, last question. You, as the head of the Judiciary Committee, will be looking into whether or not our FBI has been politicized and our DOJ has been weaponized. We expect to hear from as many as 20 whistleblowers, maybe more. What will the American people hear? What is the headline that you can give us today?
I think the American people already know it has been politicized. We no longer have equal treatment under the law. That is the scariest thing of all, because as I said many times before, we live in the greatest country ever, but America is not America if you have unequal treatment by a Justice Department, unequal treatment under the law, which is what we have. And you can look, just look a week and a half ago. The guy they picked for special counsel, this guy is as political as they get. He was trying to prosecute Jack Smith when he was at the Justice Department, was looking for ways to prosecute the very people who had been wronged by Lois Lerner and Obama's IRS. That's the guy they put in charge of the special counsel investigation. So, not to mention the countless number of whistleblowers who've come to us, Senator Grassley, Senator Johnson, and told us about how political that place is now running.
Congressman Jim Jordan, thank you for being with us. It'll get interesting in January.